So did you end up writing comedy in college at all? Was there a Harvard Lampoon of Michigan?
There was.
Michigan.
There is. There's called The Gargoyle, and I went to
Funny.
one.
I was going to try to come up with something funny, but I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do even better than that.
I was thinking like the Michigan State sucks. I got nothing. Keep going. Help me out. Keep going.
They were having open like meetings for we're looking for new members. Whatever.
The Gargoyle was.
Gargoyle. So I was like, I saw it in the paper. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And I showed up and came to the door at the meeting time, and they all turned and looked like I was a walking cancer. Like, what are you? Who's this? What are you doing? I was like, I think there was a meeting. Oh, and they were like, oh, right. Go write some jokes for like an hour, and then bring those back, and then we'll read them. And I was like, just jokes about whatever.
Were they messing with you?
That was their submission process.
Oh, funny. You come to a meeting and then they send you home.
Yeah. So I wrote some jokes, turned those in, didn't follow up on it. I was like, that doesn't seem like it's, I don't know. I'm sure they were wonderful people that went on to write great satirical content. But I didn't end up with them.
You didn't? Oh, that was a turn. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. No, I didn't get a good vibe from it. Didn't like the open-ended write some jokes assignment.
Yeah, that is very.
So a year later, I started working at the newspaper, the Michigan Daily.
Oh, what?
With the greater goal of like, I'm going to get my own humor column one day.
The school newspaper.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I followed through on that. I was like very Machiavellian. Like, I'll do this first. I'll begin writing, music reviews, and then I'll work my way up to arts editor, and from there I'll be writing a column in the Thursday paper, and from there I'll one day get my editorial. And I followed through, and I was like, God, I wish I'd been that calculating in the rest of my career that followed from that point, because I was very, I will have this one day.
Yeah.
And I did, and I put more like love and attention and care into that weekly column than I did any of my actual classwork for the last couple of years of school.
That's great, though. I feel like find a passion and go with it.
Absolutely.
And talking about the discipline we referenced earlier, if you have a weekly column due,
what
were you hitting on these columns? Were you hitting hard-hitting subjects? Was it investigative journalism, or was it more so witty New Yorker pieces?
It was a lot of my colleagues wrote those sort of self-serious, here's how we end the conflict in the Middle East from my pulpit of the editorial page of the Michigan Daily. And I could see pretty early, like, oh, Jesus, you guys. Like,
nobody's reading it. Nobody cares.
This isn't helping. So, yeah, I was pure just humor, and I guess you would probably like lend itself to observational bullshit. I mean, I'm sure it's terrible to look back on it now. I'm sure it's rife with just like shoehorn pop culture references and, run-on sentences. But like at the time, it got me some pretty good accolades on the Michigan campus.
Really?
Front of the line for Good Time Charlie's on Thursday nights.
Don't know what that means, but it sounds sweet. Is that a bar?
Yeah, that's a bar.
Are you being real right now?
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
It was really satisfying to like sit in a big lecture and seeing people like open the paper right to the column. Like,
oh, that's so cool.
It made my life. That's why I put the amount of work I did into it, like knowing like Thursday was my time to shine. You know?
Of course. Too bad they didn't have Twitter at that time. You would have blown up.
Oh man, I wonder how this. Right.
What page were you on?
5.
Nice.
So it was like 5. Front page, one page in, and then fifth page was the editorial section.
How is it? It's not paid, is it? It's almost like a class, right? Or was it paid?
We were. I think the Daily was actually an independent paper, so it wasn't tied to classes. Yeah, it was independently owned and run, in conjunction with the school. So like I was an editor for a couple of years, and I did have like a small salary.
Oh wow. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you ever? You're a big sports guy, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever use that to your advantage to get into like sidelines of football games at the?
Wasn't a big sports guy at
Little
the time.
Prime Jug or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many dudes like hardcore sports writers working the sports beats that I think in reaction I was like, oh god, the fucking sports guys. Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were above that.
I scalped all my football tickets while I was at Michigan. I found out, like, I went to 3 games freshman year, saw a Notre Dame game, and then was like, oh, wait, how much are Ohio State tickets going for? Like, fuck. Oh, yeah.
So sad.
Oh, dude, every Saturday morning, just going onto Main Street, scalp it for a couple $100. The city gets so quiet and peaceful. I'd get some Chinese food, watch the game at home in my warm apartment, easily got to my bathroom. Like, it was a dream.
That's sad.
Oh, no, dude, it was great. It was the best. Yep.
As a school with such tradition and going to a school that wanted a tradition, I feel like that's very sad to hear.
I understand. I don't regret it. I'd do it all over again. I'd tell my son to do the same.
We had so long where the football games were off campus. They were downtown at the Metrodome, and it was just that's
sad. Not a college experience.
Not at all. And it's looking on what you had and you passed on it. I'm just like, no.
What I had was a prime seller's market. I had people coming in for a big, Michigan State game, Ohio State. And I could charge a premium.
Of course.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, that's solid. And those were good years, I bet, for Michigan football.
Won a national championship in '97, my freshman year.
Oh,
that was
perfect.
Charles Woodson. And yep.
That's a dream team right there.
Yeah, it was great.
That's amazing.
So I figured, it's going to be like this all the time. And we have not won since.